What's happening, everyone? My name's Daggett, this is Daggett Designs, and welcome back to the table for a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to be going through and painting this Foo Dog Japanese style flash sheet that I drew. And with that in mind, we're going to be talking a little bit about flash sheets and how to design them, how I like to lay them out. I was recently asked about themed flash sheets. That was Sal Bronson that asked me that. And I also had Napix ask me about struggling to decide what to put on their flash sheets. So we're going to explore that. Thank you so much for your questions. I really do appreciate it. It gives me great ideas for these videos. And we're going to jump straight into this one. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is theming your flash sheets. This is one of the first things I look at when designing a new flash sheet. So we're going to start off by determining what style you are working in. This is first and foremost of importance. If you're working in different styles, this is going to determine your subject matter, as well as the visual style and color palette of your overall flash design. For example, if you are designing a Japanese flash sheet, such as the one I'm doing here, you're going to be working mostly with typical Japanese tattoo designs, characters from Japanese folklore stories, as well as various mythological creatures such as dragons, phoenix, giant koi fish, things like this. So in that instance, you are going to want to keep your subject matter consistent across the design of your sheet. Now, if you are including other elements such as flowers and background elements, you're going to want to use things that are typical for Japanese designs, such as peonies, chrysanthemums, cherry blossoms, maple leaves, things that are commonly seen within the Japanese tattoo design, and flowers that are native to Japan and are classic tattoo flowers. An example of this is this little hoju that I'm painting at the moment, which is like a sacred gemstone or sacred Japanese jewel, wishing stone. This, is a common theme throughout Japanese art and Japanese tattooing. It's very, very common across Japanese tattoo designs. And so I decided to include that as a little gap filler because I sort of had this awkward shaped gap in the top corner of the page. And I know that flames are going to be able to curve and fill that gap nicely. So I used a hoju surrounded by flames. Now, like I said, the style that you're going to be working in can also determine the visual style. This includes the line weight and the colors chosen for your designs, as well as the overall aesthetic for it. And so, for example, with typical Japanese designs, whilst they're quite bold, they tend to be a little more intricate and have a little bit more detail than something like American traditional tattoo design. And so this is going to affect the overall style of your flash sheet. Now, in this instance, it's also going to affect your color palette. The color palette used across Japanese tattoo designs and American traditional designs are going to differ significantly, as well as if you're working in the new school or neo-traditional range, which are a lot more open and free to your interpretation. Now, I have explored this topic in the past, but something like American traditional design, it's going to be a pretty strict color palette between yellow, red, brown, green, and occasionally you're going to have blue in there, and a really heavy emphasis on solid black shading for your designs. So this is something that's really common with American traditional design. And of course, if you're doing something neo-traditional or new school, then you're going to be focusing on really smooth color blends and a gradation between varying shades of particular colors, as opposed to the more flat color designs of Japanese and American traditional. Now, before we get on to point 2, if you are enjoying today's video and you like my content, please smash that like button. It really helps other people know that these are good videos and that they are going to be a great source of learning for those that are interested in tattoo design and painting. And it lets the algorithm know that it should share these videos with more people. Now, if you like my content in general, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on new content when it comes out. Now, the second step to designing a flash sheet here and having a good consistent theme is to explore various subject matter and look at references if you're not sure. A lot of people think that it's wrong to look at references or to, people think it's copying or stealing designs to be looking at someone else's sheets or to be looking at old designs. There's nothing wrong with this, everything comes from something else. So referencing is a tool that all artists use. It doesn't mean directly copying. However, you may be appropriating things from other people's work. For example, a line quality that you like, or a particular color palette that you like. And this is how you evolve and grow your own work, by trying out various styles. And you can utilize other people's work to sort of give you some ideas and some inspiration for your flash sheets. Now, on that point, if you are looking to design something that's a little bit more interesting, a little bit more unique, what you can do is, let's say you're doing a Japanese style, you can go ahead and dive into some classic Japanese stuff. So you can go ahead and look at things outside of tattoo design. You can look at Japanese culture, you can have a look at some of their history stuff and some of the original woodblock prints. And these are going to give you some great ideas for your paintings, for your flash paintings, especially some of the mythological creatures and some of the folklore creatures that come out of the Japanese tradition. They're pretty common across tattoo design, but when you don't look at somebody else's flash and you're looking at the original depictions within the woodblock paintings or woodblock prints and ukiyo paintings, this is going to give you a sort of a jumping point where you can really throw your creativity at it, and you're going to be drawing it within your own style as opposed to copying someone else's style. So if you're looking to theme your flash sheet in a unique way that stands out and it's true to your own art style, a really great way to do that is to reference things outside of tattooing or outside of tattoo art that still has some connection to that particular style. Okay, now step 3 here is going to be looking more at coming up with ideas for your flash sheet. So we have that question like, I struggle to come up with ideas for my flash. Essentially, the best way to do this, I find, is to find a theme that you want to work with, regardless of the style. And then you can find subject matter that works together, or try to tell some sort of story with your flash. So for example, if you're creating a design with a skull. Let's say your first image that pops into your head is a skull and you're going to do it in a neo-traditional style. You can begin to lay out a bit of a mind map about skulls. So you can then branch off to what they represent. In some instances, you may think like a skull can represent death. I think that's probably the more common thing that they represent. So you can have it represent death. And then you can have that branch off into things surrounding that, such as funerals. So you have coffins there. You could have, more of a horror themed flash sheet, but you could have coffins. You could have funeral flowers. So you could have roses. And this way you can start to build out a flash sheet based on your mind mapping of that particular subject matter. Another way to do this, let's say you are creating a flash sheet in an American traditional style, and the first thing that pops into your head is an eagle. You really want to draw an eagle. So now you can start thinking of things that work well with eagles. So you can mind map out this idea, and you can take it in all different directions and see what works for you. So we start with an eagle in the center, and let's say this branches out to the more nautical themes of tattoo design, American traditional tattoo design. And so now you have things like anchors, sparrows, things that are associated with that nautical style tattooing. Or you branch it off in a different direction and you have more that desert style eagle. And so you branch off that eagle, and now you've got things like snakes and cactuses and various trees. And so now you've got a whole other realm to experiment with and to sort of open up your mind with. So if you learn to branch your ideas off of each other, exploring various themes, it's going to be much easier to figure out what you want to put on your flash sheets. Now, being that a lot of my work is more in the Japanese style, or my version of the Japanese style, I will give you an example there. So a really common example that I can think of is you're wanting to design a flash sheet based around koi fish. Like your first design on the sheet is going to be a koi fish. Well, the natural progression from there would be to do other water element things. So lotus flowers are really common, pairing with koi fish. Or you could always do a koi dragon. So you've got a koi and then you've got a koi transforming into a dragon. So you can always bounce off of your original concept for the sheet. Just think of anything random that you want to draw within a style or whatever it is that you're practicing at the time. And then you can go ahead and theme your flash sheet dictated by that design. So, you want to keep things sort of consistent. I wouldn't necessarily do a koi fish, which is a water-based creature, and then next, right next to it, do something maybe like a lion from Africa. That sort of the sheet won't be unified. It's not going to look like the designs belong together on that sheet. And look, there's nothing wrong with doing that if that's what you're aiming for, but we are looking at theming flash sheets in this video. Okay, the fourth thing we're going to be looking at is planning out your sheets for a nicer fit and finish. So what do I mean by this? Essentially, it's planning out exactly where your designs are going to go so that everything fits nicely together and there's a certain flow that your sheet has to it when you've finished. And I think it's also important that you visually balance the visual weight of your designs so that the composition is balanced. So what do I mean by this? I'll give you an example here. So I created this little flash design just as an example with an eagle and a dragon, and they are placed side by side. So this is what I would call a visually balanced symmetrical piece. Now, in all honesty, I would probably place something underneath the dragon to the bottom left, such as a claw or maybe a flower or a series of flowers. This would help balance out the eagle's tail, but this is a very symmetrical style of balancing. And you can see that I've done that in this design here. These two lady heads, I wanted to keep this sheet really simple and really clean. I had two main subject matters of focus, and so I decided to split this straight down the middle as a balanced, symmetrical sheet. Now, there are other layouts. There's unlimited amount of layouts depending on your creativity. This is another one that I like, and this is what I consider to be another visually balanced sheet with two larger main subject matters that are in opposite corners of the page. So in this case, a panther and a skull. And then you have smaller elements such as the rose and the dagger, which are less significant subject matter as they're not living subject matter, and they are, filling in the void or the little gaps on the page. And this sort of reminds me of small gap filler tattoos that are typically used to fill the gaps between larger tattoos in the traditional style. Now you can see an example of this on this tiger and Hanya flash sheet that I did. I call it a tiger and Hanya flash sheet because they are the two primary subject matter. I then have the flower and my stamp filling in that bottom left corner, and a snake and chrysanthemum design filling the top right corner. Now, if you look at this sheet, it flows nicely. Everything's looking towards center, and the snake itself is sort of wrapping in a way that fills that gap really nicely. This was done intentionally, and the way that I do this is just using tracing paper and fiddling around it. It does take a little bit of work to get things to fit nicely, but in this instance, the flower and the snake head fill the gap between the Hanya and the tiger, and the body of the snake flows across the top of the Hanya mask and fills in that top corner of the page really nicely. So that is another way that you can create a really balanced design. Now, another way to plan out your flash sheet, for example, is this. It's another symmetrical style design, and it's very, very similar to the one I just showed you. However, you have something dead center in the page that works as a focal point, which everything else is drawn towards. So you have the skull and the dragon both looking at the dagger, and both of the roses are generally pointed towards that center line, and that dagger is going to draw focus to the center of the page, which is then spread across the page. And this sort of tells the viewer where they need to look. So designing your sheets in a particular way that allows a pleasing visual aesthetic for the viewer, and it sort of guides their eye in which way to look, as opposed to if you had the dragon facing off to the left, facing off of the page, and you had the skull upside down, it's sort of not going to look very good. Now here's one last example of one of my recent flash sheets. This is a 2 Hanya flash sheet that I've done with various flowers, and this is an example I think where the flowers have come in really handy in creating that visual balance. And I think this is a technique that I use quite a bit, where essentially you're going to create your flash designs however you'd like them. In this particular case, the left Hanya mask has more detail, and it ended up being a little bit larger than the Hanya mask on the right. And so what I do is I go ahead and spread flowers out in a particular composition that allows me to create a larger design out of something that's a little bit smaller, or maybe doesn't take up as much room. And I like to organize my flowers, usually top and bottom corner of my designs. Okay, the last thing we're going to be looking at today is actually a little bit of a sneaky trick. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the more commonly used tricks that I see in flash designs across the board, as well as for gap fillers in larger tattoo designs. And it's basically, if all else fails, just fill it with flowers. That's right, if all else fails and you don't know where to put things and you've got no idea what to put in your gap fillers, just use flowers. The great thing about flowers is that they are organic structures. They don't have a defined shape. They've got a loose structure, but not a specifically defined shape. And so you can go ahead and put them in pretty much the most awkward gaps. Put them in there however you'd like. They have stems, they have leaves, which are all sort of optional, which means you've got 1,000,001 options of how you'd like to place them. So for example, if you've got a really skinny gap, but you really want to put something in there because it's just begging to have something in there, you could always put the stem of a rose in there and then have the rose branch out at the top where there's a little bit more space for it. If there's still a little bit of gap on either side, you could always throw some leaves in. And the same is said for the flower itself. There's always places where there's a really awkward shaped gap, and you can always squeeze a few flowers in or change the shape of your petals. And this is a really great way to patch up problem areas on the go. So if you're sort of really happy with a flash sheet, but there's an awkward space and you don't know how to fill it, like I said, if all else fails, just throw a flower in there. As long as it suits the theme of your flash sheet and the color palette of your flash sheet, just chuck a flower in there, throw the leaves out so that they fill the empty spaces and they have a nice flow to them, and don't worry about it. Just fill those spaces with flowers. Like I said, this is a little bit of a cheeky trick, but it is something that I see done quite often and something that I do myself. Now, Napix and Sal, I really hope this answered your questions, and to anyone else who had the same questions, I hope it answered yours. If you do have a new question for me, leave it in the comment section down below. I do read all comments, and I will endeavor to get around to making a video on as many of these ideas and video concepts that you guys have. With that being said, guys, be creative, stay bold, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye.